Alright guys, welcome to our new series of celebrity haircuts. Now, we thought that by using a mannequin, we could create some of the most requested haircuts on celebrities at the moment. Now, today's haircut, that is probably the most requested around the world at the moment, or the one that people want to know how to get it, how to cut this hairstyle in general, is the Timothée Chalamet. What Chalamet is it? Is the Timothée Chalamet haircut from the new film Dune. Now, we're using Cole, our very trusted friend. He lets me do whatever I like, so that's always a bonus. And he's got good length hair that we can really work on this haircut. Now, on the screen is the haircut that we are going to be doing now. And again, we had a lot of requests for this. So guys, if you could comment below on this video and let us know what celebrity's haircut you'd like to see, the most requested in the comments we'll do on the next episode. So, we're going to start with the Timothée Chalamet haircut from Dune. Now, I'm going to start first of all with a horseshoe section. Because what we want to do is isolate the back and sides to the top. But it's kind of like the hairstyle he always has. I think it might just be slightly styled differently. But either way, I love this haircut and clearly so do you guys. So I'm going to start by doing my horseshoe section on Cole. Now, again, working on a mannequin, it's great because we can have a little bit of fun. We can play around with this. And also, this could be one for, you know, the guys who want to request this in the barbers or the hairdressers. Or if you are a barber or hairdresser watching this and you want to learn how to do this style, it's always a nice way to learn by getting yourself a mannequin. So I'm just finishing off my horseshoe section. Now, obviously with a mannequin, the hairlines are slightly off, but that's fine. We can adapt to that. Work it in. The haircut that Timothée is wearing in Dune is a kind of, I've got to say, I think it's a really nice classic longer haircut on a guy. It's shorter on the sides than the back, which is natural for guys when they're growing the hair out. And also it's very top heavy and it looks as though it's kind of got a little bit of a kink in there, a little bit of a wave, some nice texture, styled really well, but a little bit more top heavy as well. So that's what we're going to aim to do today. Starting on the sides and the back, I'm actually going to use a razor for this haircut. I think the texture of the mannequin's hair is perfect for a razor. Now, I love using a texture razor. It's one of my favourite tools to use. And I think with Timothy's hairstyle as well, I think if I was ever fortunate enough to cut his hair, I think his hair would be great for a razor as well. So anyone out there who thinks they may have similar hair texture to Timothée, then, I mean, if you've got a good relationship with your barber or hairdresser and they do use a razor, I think maybe we'll try and request a razor cut because it's just fantastic. So, I'm going to start off with cutting the back and sides in. Now, I'm going to leave some length in this because the length of his hair looks maybe as though it's down to maybe about just below the ear. So that's what I'm going to look at, leaving the length just below the ear. So I'm going to use that as a reference point on the right hand side. So I'm going to work palm to palm on this and just taking off enough length that it will sit just above the ear, okay? So probably taking on Cole here, I'm probably going to lose about half the length on the back and sides. When you work the razor just in front of your fingers, like so. Find half the way and then just slide the razor down, just to your knuckle. You got your guide from the top. There we go, it falls out. Keep your section nice and straight and work it down to your knuckle. Last little bit, I bring this down, we're going to cut the perimeter in a little bit, but that's the length we're leaving throughout the sides, and that'll be cut to the ear. Same width of section again. Take a section from the previously cut section to use as a guide. There's our guide. As you pull it across, lean over your fingers and you'll see the guide fall out and then slide the razor down. Same again, looking above it or to the side, whichever you feel comfortable. There we go. Same again through the back. There's our guide falling out. We've got our razor and we slide down to our knuckle. We're using our guide from above now. There we go. We're cutting in our primary shape now, but with using a razor, you get such a lovely finish on it. You create such a lovely texture within the hair that when it comes to styling, you've already kind of created texture. By adding a razor to it, it does not save a lot of time within the haircut. Pull that out. There's the guide. Bring that past my finger and bring the razor down to my knuckle. So we continue, same size sections all the way across the back. and then just keep using our guide. Bit of tension to do all the work for you. So continuing the same width of section, we're going to work around into the left hand side of the head now. There's my guard behind it. I'm taking that section from the section we just cut behind the ear. Final section. Hey, stay still, mate. Final section, bringing that back into where the sideburn is, so we don't cut into the hairline too much. Right, so that is my primary shape cut. Now, as you can see, even both sides. You've got the shortness at the top, and we will work on the perimeter in a minute, but that is essentially the back and sides done, okay? Now let's work on the perimeter. So let's start on the sides first. So I'm just going to work in sections on the sideburns to start with because they're very thick. I'm just going to cut this at the bottom of the ear. And when using the razor, press lightly towards the middle and then a bit harder towards the ends, and you get a bit more of a shattered finish. A little bit lighter and then press a bit harder as you get down to the bottom. I'm trying to thin that out as well. So you wouldn't necessarily do this on a client, but because of the mannequin being so thick and so strong, I'm going to take that down a little bit just on the sideburns a bit there like that. And take this up a little bit as well. So we can notice as we see straight on, we can see that there's longer hair down the bottom and that the sides are shorter. Working in stages on the sideburns and working to the bottom of the ear. And working back onto the neckline. Following the same guideline from the right hand side. Pressing a bit harder as you get down to your fingers. Start to freehand this in. Down here, just to balance that through, like so. A really nice finish on the neck. So the back and sides are done. Now what I'm going to do again, we're working for that top heaviness in this hairstyle. So I'm going to work down from the top here into what we've left as the perimeter around the bottom. So, taking a section horizontally from the front, just across the round of the head. We're going to work this section down to the perimeter length. Again, using the razor to finish off and finish the ends on this. So again, we're still matching in with that very serrated finish and just sliding through like that. Same at the front, just working it straight across. Do the back here, same again. Another section higher up. I'm just working all the way down the perimeter to remove the length. Even when we get to the back, I'm still matching up to the same length here as well. One before the center. Same thing again, working down. And one past the center. And the only length that's going to come off is the front. Back through sections and add the razor into this now to really break it up. Sliding through. Break up that length. That allows us to then play around with it and create a bit of wave, bit of texture in there. And ultimately just kind of thin it out slightly as well. Same the other side now. Taking a section just at the round of the head and bringing it all the way down to the perimeter. Like so. Another section. And just off centre. And same as before, it was just the front that lost the length. One past the centre. Some texture in there now, let's break it up. Now through the middle, and take a section right top, with a little point on this. I'm just going to pinch it with a razor on the very ends, like so. Wide sections, not losing too much length, like so. There we go. There we go. It's like vertical section, and we'll trim this. So essentially it's going shorter towards the crown and getting longer towards the sides. And through the middle, and take a section and just slide through. Just to give it a little bit of lift, a little bit of movement as well. It's got a bit of height in there, it's very thick. It's got a bit of height in there too. And now we want to fix the front as well. Just using the razor. Very natural. Not cutting the fringe in per se, just having a very natural finish. Now a little bit of lift here, just because it's fallen a little bit. Just want a little bit, something there, just to thin it out a little bit. Right, so to style this, I'm going to start with a texturizing salt spray by Balmain. I'm going to use this to dry in the shape, and then to finish off, I'm just going to use a little bit of matte paste by Label M, just to kind of add that little bit of grip, that little bit of shape in there as well. There we go. Now, I'm just going to finger dry this, okay? I'm not going to use a brush or anything. I want it to be quite natural, very similar to the way it is in the film or the trailer that I've seen. Through the back. Working it from the roots. And just to finish, a little bit of Label M matte paste. I want to finish with something that has a bit of weight to it. Okay, this has a tiny bit of weight. So I really do like the finish on the Timothee's hair for the film, but it looks as though it's got something here to weight it down, you know? So I just want a little of that. It's very dry, very matte. I'm just going to apply it just in like this. Just to give it a bit of a messy kind of vibe. So, what to ask for if you are looking for this particular haircut? So, the best way I would describe it, in a very basic way, is it's kind of like a medium length haircut, which is a bit more top heavy. So it's a bit of a 90s kind of vibe, just with more length around the back and side. So slightly centre parted, but keeping it very natural. It's a bit shorter on the side than the back, so they're more of a masculine sort of longer way, more than it being sort of level on the sides and the back. But yeah, medium length haircuts with a bit more top heaviness and lots of texture. So as with every haircut in this series, it's always best to show your barber or stylist the picture that you want. It's much easier for them to tailor it to your face shape and also to your hair texture as well. So here's a little bit of bonus footage. We noticed that Timothée Chalamet is in a new film called The French Dispatch, and we thought that we could show you how to style that hairstyle through this cut, because I do believe that it's the same, if not similar, hairstyle. So, as you can see, it's styled from the Dune haircut. Now, what I'm thinking we do with this is a lot of the Red Chem powder grip, okay? And this is styling powder. Now what we do is we work it into the roots, like so, into little sections, like so, all the way through, because we need lift and we need height in this, okay? And we're working it into the roots, like so, and then we work it across the hair, like that, okay? And then what we do is we work it wildly into the hair, like this. Now, it's not good, but it has to be done. We do a little bit of back combing in there as well, because we need that bit of height. We want that curl to stay in there as well. So we work on a bit of back combing to create that real wiry curl. Again, it's not an everyday look, you see. What's quite cool about it is that, you know, if you do want and you do fancy going for that very, very wild hairstyle, then you can have the same haircut and just down to styling. So I think that is Timothee's sort of signature look, isn't it? This kind of hairstyle. This is what made me think. French Dispatch Dune looks like the same haircut. You can see by the shorter sides, really longer top. And we just work it through and just back comb it, like so. Old 80s way of styling hair. As you can see, you just work that into there like that. And then the best thing to do is to finish with some hairspray. Again, old school, all over. And that, my friends, is the French Dispatch. Crazy, crazy hair. But as you can see, that texture is awesome. That is from the same haircut. Now, you let us know what you think. Do you think it's the same haircut? I do. Be interesting to know your thoughts as well. But as you can see, the texture in that is unreal. And that is from the same haircut as we did for June.